much better that looks. So today's video is all about taking care of our mesquite trees. So we have a total of 4 mesquite trees that are actually like trunks coming out of the ground on our property. We have 2 on this back left-hand corner, and then we have another 2 that are in the middle of our main driveway that Elijah and I are going to have to find someone who can relocate them for us because they can't stay there, but we don't want to get rid of them, so we're going to figure out where else we can put them on the property. So last time you saw us, we were trimming up one of our mesquite trees, the one that's right behind the shed. So we are going to get rid of all the random plants that are around that tree. And then the big mumbo jumbo one that is doing whatever it wants and that is just living its life over there, that one we are going to basically get that one nice and trimmed up as well. We also brought out some mulch with us today. We're gonna do kind of like a little well around the tree that we cut last time. I can't remember if it's called a berm. Basically to go around the entire tree, we'll build up like a little layer so that it can help retain water, and then once we actually get onto the land and we figure out how the water flows, we'll create an opening on one of those parts of that circle so that the water can flow in through there. But we're gonna try and get as much water into the soil as possible because it is a beautiful tree, and once it grows up, it's gonna be great for shade. So let me show you the tree again and then what we plan on doing. Okay, so this is the tree that we trimmed up last time. So we took off this branch here, we took off another branch that was hanging out back here somewhere, and then we had trimmed up around here. So right now Elijah is just taking out all this underbrush because these we do not want. If you are not familiar with the Arizona mesquite trees, they are known as nurse trees because other plants like to corral around them, so the tree is very good at protecting the trees that are underneath it. But we're just gonna go ahead and clean this one up, build the little rim around it, and then we'll backfill it with some mulch. If you are mulching any trees, you just want to make sure that you don't put the mulch all the way up against the bark of the tree because it can cause the tree to decay. And then you also want to make sure you don't have too thick of amount of mulch on there so that it doesn't smother the roots of the tree as well. So I'm going to get you guys set up and then you get to watch us mess with some trees. Okay, so this is what the tree looks like, all nice and cleared out. Isn't that just so cute? Okay, so we were originally going to use, because we had bought a bunch of pavers down last time, so we were going to originally do the little dirt pile going around and then do the outside of it with the cut up pavers, but we noticed that on this side of the property we have tons of rocks. So me and Girly were collecting rocks earlier while Elijah was digging out all the bushes, but we're gonna start scouring this area really quick so we can grab some more. So the more rocks that we can use, the less pavers we have to use, the less pavers we have to cut. So we are gonna go on a rock scavenging hunt, which she is very excited about because she loves rocks.
I just see one, Dada.
Where?
Right there.
Wait, Daddy found one too. Look at all those rocks.
More rocks.
This rock looks like it belongs up in that mountain. This is a nice rock.
After collecting the rocks that we needed, we went ahead and took the shovel and divvied out a circle going around the tree so that we can use some of that dirt that we took out to help create our mound. How does it look?
Huh?
It looks nice.
It looks nice.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna take all our rocks and we're gonna put them all around the outside, okay?
Okay. We have so many rocks.
Okay, so this is what it's looking like. So we went ahead and we took the dirt from this outer ring here and we piled it up here. It's kind of hard to see it, but I guess this is a better angle. So we did like a little dome on the top, and so what we'll end up doing is we'll taking the rocks and we'll put them around the outside here so that will keep the dirt from not falling and help the water stay in a little bit more. And then this middle section we're gonna fill with mulch. And then as the tree grows, what we'll do is we'll continue to widen out the ring or add more rings so that this root system is probably extensive already, but we'll start adding more rings on the outside up to a certain point to help with whatever roots that are out here. Mesquites are pretty good at retaining their own water, but just imagine if we could help it a little bit more, what it could end up being. So we are gonna finish up this little circle and then we're gonna start laying some rocks on the outside. 2 left. We're gonna have to go find more. We have half of, well, a little more than half of the ring done on the tree. So right now we have about 37 rocks down. So we're gonna go find some more rocks so that we can finish it off, but it's coming along. It's very relaxing doing this. So it's nice to be able to have a little bit of relaxation out on the land today. So yeah, we're gonna go find some more rocks and then we will be bringing in the mulch and then we'll head over to conquer the big beast. We're going on a rock hunt. We're gonna find a big one. I'm not scared. Okay, so we have more rocks. One thing that I do have to say is, one, we have a lot of rocks on the side of the property, a lot of different rocks. Okay, so this is the finished border going all the way around the tree. And what's crazy is that there's so many different varieties, colors, shapes, and sizes of rocks that came literally from this entire same area. So it's crazy to think what's out there. Okay, I'm gonna give you a backup view of what it looks like. Doesn't that look so pretty? That looks gorgeous. It looks like a nice little landscape tree. So once we figure out where the water is coming in from the property, we're thinking that it's going to be coming in this way. What we'll do is we'll remove the rocks on an area of this side and kind of make like a little, I don't know, like a little wide opening area where it goes skinny and then comes out a little bit bigger. And then we'll pile up dirt around the side and then we'll move these rocks off to the sides so then the water can drain in and then fill this tree up. So now that we have all the rocks done, we're gonna grab mulch and then we'll fill this inside area with some mulch, making sure that we keep it away from the trunk so we don't cause any decay up there. Okay, so this is the mulch that we're gonna be using. We picked it up from Lowe's. We'll leave a description, a link in the description box below so that if you wanna grab yourself some. Right now, Lowe's is running a sale. I think they're 5 for $10 right now, but we only got 2, so we only had to pay $2 for each. So we ended up getting it in the color red. I really wanted black mulch, but nobody has black mulch. So we got red because it's gonna tie in with the future color. We won't tell you what it's for, the color, but it will tie in with the future color, and we thought it would be a great pop of color. Okay, so this is a close-up of that red color. Isn't it just so pretty? Okay, so we finished putting the mulch around the tree. So this is what it looks all together. I'm glad that we went with the red because the red is like the perfect pop of color, and whatever the other thing that we're going to be doing, red, is going to just look great with it. So we have our rocks going around the perimeter. We're pretty sure we built that well. We did like a little slope in there so that it keeps the water in. We have our mulch in. We did take the mulch all the way up to the rocks just for aesthetic purposes. And then we also made sure we left some area around the tree to where the mulch is not touching the tree, because if the mulch touches the tree, it could keep it moist around that area, and what will happen is it will cause the tree to start decay. So you're not supposed to have mulch touching any tree trunks at all. So, and then we did do a nice thin layer of mulch, well, a good layer of mulch, because you also don't want it too thick, because if it's too thick, air can't get through, and then it will smother the roots because of the dampness and everything. And so with this type of mulch, we're not supposed to water it for 24 hours, so that's perfect, because in a couple days we're going to get rain, so it will be watered naturally. So anytime that we come out, whatever extra water that we have, we'll just start dumping it over here. So let me back up and just show you an entire view of our new beautiful tree. We'll take you all the way around. So with it nice and trimmed up with the border around it, and then also with the mulch at the bottom, it is a beautiful, gorgeous tree that looks like it is loved. So that's exciting. But Elijah and I had a lot of fun collecting rocks and spreading the mulch. It's interesting. We're weird. We like playing in the dirt. So yeah, so this is our beautiful tree. So now we need to get that one over there to look as pretty as this one. We won't be laying mulch over there on this one today, but we are going to go trim it up, and then we'll, of course, once we get it all trimmed up, another time that we come out, we'll go ahead and get the rock set up, the little perimeter going around it, and then we'll get some red mulch to go with it as well. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and move down that way, and we will see you when we get to the big beast tree. Okay, so this is the Mambo Jumbo Big Bertha of a tree that we have going on over here. So this is the one that we're going to start trimming up today. This is the one I showed you last time. So this one has all of these branches basically going everywhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with managing some of all of this that's just everywhere before we actually go in and start hacking off some branches. So we did end up getting a longer saw for our reciprocating saw. It is a 9-inch one. The guy at the store told us that this one is great for pruning trees, and it's specifically made for pruning trees. So rather than us using the one that's for wood and metal, he said that this one would be a lot better for us to use. So we went ahead and got that one. We'll link it down in the description box below for you guys if you have some tree trimming to do. But we're gonna go ahead and get these set up, and then we're gonna start hacking away at this jumbo thing. But do you see these massive spikes on this one? That's just like all covered in just spikes. So we definitely want to make sure we get rid of all of that, because once we're out here, this is going to be the garden area, and I don't want the kids, you know, going into the spiky tree. Yeah. Why do you have the worst luck dragging those out? Is that? Some nice firewood.
See how thorny this is?
Yeah, that's why I want to get rid of all the thorn stuff.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna burn it all. Okay, so as you can see, we have a nice little clear patch here. So now that we can actually get into the tree, we're just gonna start going that way, and we're just gonna work our way around, trying to keep as much as possible. Okay, I have to admit that the tree at first was looking a little intimidating, but once you get in there, it's a lot better. That's the one with the big, huge thing. You need help or you got it? You need help?
The doors are like white.
that was bigger than you. Watch your arm. It looks like it's scratching your arm. Why don't you pull it from the trunk?
He has those white doors. These things are huge.
Mm-hmm. Did you get it? Oh, it's heavy, and it's tangled up in all this stuff. Oh, look how much better that looks. Okay, so we finished pruning the tree. Doesn't that look so much better? I feel like when you first look at the tree, there was so much going on that it looks overwhelming and you're like, I have no idea where to start or what this should look like. But once you dive in there and you start, looking at the different branches, looking at how, they're starting to flow and figuring out where your cut points are, it became a lot easier. So we ended up taking off a good amount off the tree. So that's the pile fully from the tree that we took off. There were some pretty hefty branches that we took off, but we only took off ones that were either floating onto the ground or they were coming up here, but then they were starting to slope downwards, because just like the other tree, even though this one has a bunch of different stumps and everything, we want to encourage this one to grow up and out, so that I don't think this one would ever be a major shade tree. It seems like it's more of a bush type of tree, but as it continues growing, we'll keep pruning it. Like for example, if this one continues, let me get it on this side. For example, if this one continues, see how this one, we cut this one where it was coming out. If this one continues to grow, then eventually this one we'll probably get rid of because it's just a side shoot. So then we can encourage this one to keep growing up and out. But I have a feeling that this one's gonna be more of a bush tree. And with that in mind, our main goal is to make sure we keep this bottom area clean so we don't have anything hiding in there, we don't have anything nesting in there, and also so that we can keep some of these spikes at least a little bit higher so we don't have to worry about the kids getting into them or brushing up against it, or even me, because I'm pretty clumsy, so I don't want to get tangled in the tree. So with this one now being done, Big Bertha tree is now beautiful. We'll end up probably doing the same thing where we're gonna clean up all the underbrush because it looks good now, but just wait until we clean up all that brush around it. We'll go ahead and do our little mound going around it. We'll add our rocks on the outside, and then we'll get more of our red mulch. We're thinking that we might need 4 bags of mulch for this one, just because of how wide the base is. So we'll get 4 bags of mulch to go there. We'll need a whole lot more trees. We'll need a whole lot more rocks. I don't know if we'll find more, but if we don't, then we'll just go with our second plan where we cut our pavers down into little slithers, and then we'll just line the back of the tree with that. The tree is starting to get little green pieces on them, which is exciting. So we're interested to see what these will turn out and look like as they continue to grow. Yeah, so that was a lot of cutting, even though I didn't cut anything. So it's still just nerve-wracking because it's like you want to make sure you cut in all the right places so you don't mess with the tree, because once you cut off a branch, it's gone. Yes, a branch will grow back, but it will never grow back the way that the branch is. So yeah, so we are done for today. We still have a good amount of daylight, but the sun is starting to hide behind the clouds and it is getting cold. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was fun for us to collect the rocks, to lay the mulch, and actually have some designs going on the property. So we will end up seeing you in the next video. Bye. Oh, also tell us what you think of our little baby tree over there. This one. Tell us what you think about the tree over there. How do you like the rocks and the red mulch? And then tell us how you think that we did trimming this one up as well. Positive stuff. So we will see you next video. Bye.